So here's the F100 as it currently sits. I'm gonna have to clean up the garage tonight and pick up some stuff because it needs to get organized, but got the rear frame rails cleaned up quite a bit. Not quite done with the prep for the QA1 stuff, but we went ahead and ground them down to try to clean them up so they're ready for getting painted. The Crown Vic stuff is all welded in, so the Backyard Customs boxes are all welded in. So my next step is I gotta get the QA1 stuff mocked up, but before that, well, in conjunction with that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and strip the cab down so I can get the cab pulled off the frame, and then the frame will be ready to get painted once I finish mocking up the QA1 stuff. I can sand it down the rest of the way and paint it. Interior's pretty nice. We actually recovered the seat already, so that's all brand new. A little dusty because I had the door open. Bummer. And then the carpet we just painted. You can see it was blue. And it held up okay, but it's kind of showing its age a little bit. And then I had just built this custom center console for it before, which is just plywood, but it actually works really nice. It mounted the ratchet shifter, and then down here I had a little fuse panel. So the line lock and the nitrous stuff was pulled off of there. Tacks mounted in the dash over there. But I think I've made the decision I'm gonna go ahead and paint it since it's coming so far apart. You can see on that door and on the glove box here, and there's some big runs in the dash too. So we're gonna end up stripping the whole interior out. The bottom of that door's pretty rough, so strip it all down, sand it all down, paint everything while we have it apart. Try to make it a little nicer, at least all one color. You can see the jams are pretty rough. So that's the plan. So this is the QA1 frame section sitting on the factory frame rails once we notch out the C-notch and cut out the inside. So these first 5 bolts, there's 4 on the exterior, 1 on the bottom. Those are all existing holes in the frame from the rivets that hold the leaf hanger in place. And then you got to drill out all the rest of these. So I clamped it up from the bottom, and then I clamped it over. I drilled this bottom hole first so I could tighten that up. And then I can go ahead and drill out the rest of these holes. There's 1 more on the bottom there. And then quite a few across here. These are all 7/16. And then I can do the other side, and then we can take it all apart and paint it. Well, good news is I can't take it apart anymore. Get all the grease and stuff cleaned off of this. A little dirty on the inside. Get her sanded down and ready for paint and primer. And then we can start rebuilding it. Be nice, because then we'll have less of a mess in the garage. So here's the frame coated with 2 coats of the Mastercoat primer. And this thing looks pretty freaking good. It's still gonna get top coated with black, and obviously the camera is picking up all of the texture. You know, so in person it doesn't nearly look that textured. And that texture's not from the paint, it's just from the frame. You know, I didn't fill it with putty or make it totally smooth. So when you get, I don't know, within like 12 inches, you can see that texture, but once you get a little bit away from it, you can't see that at all. It looks really good in person. It's also smooth, like if you rub your hand down it, there's not any roughness. You know, it's pretty smooth on the fingers, so you can definitely tell it's a built-up product. You know, it's not like a thin coat of paint. There's some thickness to it. So pretty excited to see this with the black top coat on it. I think it's going to look pretty good. Then we're ready to start putting suspension in.